Welcome back to third session. So in last session, we discussed about the different types of data structures available in R program as well as the different data types available in R programming language. So let me discuss the one by one data structure. The first one is called as vector. The vector is the essential building block for handling multiple items in R. So it is a building block for handling multiple items so that it can hold the multiple data items. So where data item should share the single data type. So it is a collection of observation or measurements concerning a single variable. So one object or one variable will hold the multiple data items. So that is called as vectors. The function for creating a vector is the single letter C. So we have, in our programming language, there are many built-in functions for creating any data structures. So in order to create vectors, we have to use a function. So that should start with C. So C of function. So with the desired entries in parenthesis separated by comma. So that each item will be separated by the comma operator. For example, so this is the example for creating the vector, where the vector name is called as myvec is equal to C of 13142. So C of function we use to create the vector. So it holds 4 elements of type numeric. The first element is 1, second element is 3, third element is 1 and fourth element is 42. So that suppose if we want to refer the first element, that is actually stored in index value, and second element 3. So that is stored in index value 2, and third element, that is 1. So that is stored in index value 3. Suppose if you want to try to print the value of myvec object, so then it will print. So just type myvec, so it will print 13142. So these are the data items present in the vector myvec. So also the vector entries can be calculations or previously stored items. So we can use the entries for the vector as the calculation, maybe arithmetic calculation value or logical calculation values as one of the entry for the vector. And also, so we can have the object as one of the entry for the vector. For example, if I create one variable called as f. So f is a variable or object, that is a numeric object, it holds only 32.1. So now I will create one vector called as myvec2. So that is the name of the vector using C of function. So it holds 3, minus 3, 2, 3.45, and this is actually calculation. So 1 into e power 3. So that is also one of the entry, and also 64 power 0.5. So that is actually mathematical expression. So that is also one of the entry for the vector. And next to comma f, where f is the vector object. So where f is a one numeric object, that is also entry for the vector myvec2. Suppose if you try to print the value of myvector2, first it will print first index value, that is 3.000, because it is a numeric value. So it will print a fractional part also, and second entry of myvector2 is minus 3.0000, that is this one, and third entry is 2.00000, and fourth entry is 3.450, and fifth entry is actually 1 into e power 03. So that it will print 1000 point something, and 8 point something is the sixth, and this one is seventh entry 2.20, and last entry is 32.1, that is actually the value of f. The value of f is actually 32.1. So that is actually the last entry of the myvector2. So also I can combine two vectors in one vector. Suppose if I want to create one vector called as myvector3, so that entry for this vector is myvec and myvector2. So myvec is actually my first vector, and my vector 2 is my second vector. So this vector my vector 3 now contains this much value. So that is the entries in the first vector my vec and entries of the second vector my vector 2. So totally it contains 12 entries. Okay. So what are the different operations that we can perform? So with respect to vector. So different operations like a sequence, repetition, sorting and length. So these are the operation that we can perform by using different function. So in order to perform sequence operation, we have to use a SEQ function. So repetition operation, we have to use REP function, and sorting operation, so we have to use a sort function, and in order to perform length, so we have to use a length function. The first one, let us discuss the sequence. So like this is one of the example. So how to generate sequence of values. The one of the example is can write like this. So 3:27. So 3:27. So if you write like this is actually one command. So this is a sequence command. So if you write like this, so it will print the sequence of numbers starting from 3, where 3 is the start number and 27 is the last number. So it will generate sequence of number starting from 3 to 27. So where the gap is by default it is 1. So 3 to 27. And also, so like this also we can generate sequence of numbers. For example, f is a object, so it takes initial value 5.3, and BAR, so I create one more sequence object that is called as BAR is equal to f colon, where value of f is actually 5.3 colon. So this is actually mathematical expression minus 47 plus 1.5. So this is actually 45 minus 45.5. So that it will generate the sequence of numbers starting from 5.3 to minus 44.7. So where the last value is actually minus 45.5. So that is not included in the limit. So here the last value is minus 44.7. So like this it will generate the sequence of numbers in decreasing order. So again here the gap between two numbers is 1. So also we can generate the sequence of numbers by using sequence function. So where the sequence, we have to use a sequence function. So it takes 3 parameters from equal to 3 to equal to 27 by equal to 3. So that it generates the sequence of numbers starting from 3 and to 27, where by equal to 3, so that we can determine the gap between the two numbers, that is 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12. So that it generates the sequence of number from 3 to 27. So that is how to use sequence function. So in this session, so we discussed about different vector operations, that is sequence operation, length operation, sort operation and repeat operations. Thank you.